Lots of carnivores are adding back any carbs into their diet. It's becoming a bit of a pandemic. There was one person that started it all, and it's starting to take a hold of everyone now as well. So today I have with me a previous guest on my podcast. Rachel on Instagram is carnivore.fitness. And we're going to explore this in a respectful way and try and discuss why it's happening and whether or not you need to do the same as well. Rachel, thanks for joining. What you guys don't realize, this is take two. We actually did this entire thing just now, and the computer turned off, so we lost the recording. So here we are again.
So if I'm looking disheveled.
Yes, it's that, because she spent that much time trying to get her feet in front of the camera in the previous take.
There's just no context there whatsoever. No context whatsoever.
Okay, we'll get back on track. So we said before, one particular person kind of really made carnivore popular in terms of the general public hearing about it, Paul Saladino. And he now famously is basically not carnivore anymore.
Well, I would say that Sean Baker made it first.
I've literally no idea. Because
I would say Sean Baker came first.
Okay.
And then Paul Saladino exploded with his videos of KO is bullshit and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So I think Paul was the first one to really go off carnivore in quite a spectacular way, in a way that we're seeing repeated now. So he obviously, if I'm not mistaken, he has hundreds of grams of carbs per day right now.
I have no idea how many, but
it's a lot.
Orange juice, lots of things.
Honey on porridge in the morning, all these sorts of things, juices.
Porridge as well.
So I saw a video of him pouring honey on some porridge. Maybe it was for a video, I don't know, but he was definitely doing it.
I'm pretty sure he's against porridge, at least.
Okay, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But he stated that he's added carbs back in and that that's better in some way. Now, looking at photos of his face before and now, I don't think he looks better. That's very subjective, I'll admit. But I don't think it's needed to have hundreds of grams per day. There's a reason there's only 5 grams in our blood, roughly speaking, at any given moment. What would you say was the reason he added them back in?
I would say that it's actually the overconsumption of organ meats.
Okay.
For me, that's what I noticed.
Would you say that, because I wouldn't say he was overeating, but I don't watch his content. I've just seen him now and again have a slice of liver.
How much muscle meat to organ meats he's eaten a lot of organ meats, not so much muscle meat.
So you think it's skewed, the ratio that he's eating?
Yeah, because when you look at an animal, if you're going to go out and kill an animal, normally there would be a bunch of guys going and hunting, kill an animal, they would divide that animal between their families, and the amount of organ meat versus muscle meat you would get is actually quite quite small.
Like the amount of weight alone of beef meat versus the weight of, say, the liver is massive, right? That ratio. So for him, what were the problems that he was getting when he was carnivore that made him decide something needs to change?
So he apparently was having electrolyte imbalances.
Okay.
I think it was disturbing his sleep.
Okay. I've had patients with similar. Both of those things come at the same time.
Yeah. Was you able to fix it?
Yeah, I mean,
stay in carnivore.
My patients usually get it in during the transition quite early on because they don't know how much to eat, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that. As a temporary fix, we do go with electrolyte solutions, but that's purely temporary. Once they learn to eat enough, they don't really need it. They can have it if they like the taste, that's fine, but it's not needed anymore at that point. So I think to get the electrolytes correct, and we said this last time, but I'll say this just for the viewers, when you eat enough in one sitting, even if it's carnivore, even if there's no carbohydrates that you're eating, the kidneys will eventually retain some electrolytes in the blood. This is to do with insulin. Now, if you don't eat enough, if you eat very small meals, then that's not going to happen. And so you are not having in your body the required amount of electrolytes like sodium and potassium, magnesium, all these things. And so that can disrupt things like your musculature, it can give you cramps, it can disrupt your sleep. I've seen this firsthand in my patients, in my clinical experience as well. And when we address these issues in the way that we'll talk about today, they disappear. I even had them myself, if I'm honest, when I first transitioned, because no one actually coach me into carnivore, I had to figure it all out myself because I didn't know it was even called carnivore. I was just eating in that particular way. So I had to figure it out myself too. But now I have no issues. None of my patients have issues as well either. So I would suggest Paul had the issue, possibly, and I'd say possibly because I wasn't there, obviously, but possibly because of the way he was eating when carnivore. Maybe there wasn't enough in one go to institute a slight rise in insulin in the bloodstream to retain those electrolytes with the kidneys. Do you think that, as well as the skewed ratio between muscle meat and organ meat, played a role?
It sounds like it could definitely be that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what makes you think that organ meats will change, are more likely to give you those issues?
So just from noticing patterns
Okay.
in the community,
Yeah.
if you look at any long-term carnivore,
Yeah.
they're not including lots of organ
Okay.
meats, and they're definitely not pounding it like Paul Saladino does.
Okay.
So that's one thing that you notice. But then the other thing is how natural it is. And I mentioned earlier about when you go hunting, it's not natural to have that more organs than you've got muscle. You know, if you look at an animal, you can see it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's just not natural. And we're meant to be eating as naturally as possible.
Yeah. But do you not think that, and I don't know the answer to this, but do you not think that it's more to do with undereating rather than the skewed ratio between organ meat and muscle meat?
I didn't before this conversation.
Okay.
But maybe I do now.
So, yeah, I think, because I think undereating is possibly Paul's issue.
I think that, but I also do think that I have noticed a pattern of people in the carnivore community. The ones that shout the loudest about organ meat and say you've got to have it and it's absolutely vital. And, you know, even if...
I mean, I only know Paul Saladino that does that. I don't know of anyone else that...
No, I've known a few people over the years, and those people usually have to reintroduce something.
Right, okay.
It completely... So we have taste buds for a reason, and obviously that is in context of a proper human diet.
Yeah. So just what we mean by that is taste buds work normally when they're being given normal food, normal relative to what we've had for millions of years. So not a load of processed industrial cupcakes full of vegetable oils and things like that. If you have that, obviously then they're never going to function properly.
Yeah, I mean, there are just foods out there that are hyper palatable and they're easy to overconsume.
Yeah.
You cannot trust yourself eating those things. You cannot think, for one, they're not necessary either for us to be here and to thrive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's lots of people that are overeating on things like that.
Yeah.
Things, carnivore recipes and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think Paul, a long time ago, is when he did all that and he added carbs back in. I don't know exactly how long, certainly before I even heard of carnivore, that had already happened. But now we are seeing quite a few people, quite a few influential people on social media who are carnivores or who were carnivores, kind of dropping off the diet or turning to Paul's ways and things like that. Why do you think it started to happen all of a sudden? Because I know you messaged me to say a lot of people are doing this. I don't watch YouTube or anything like that, controversially. But
he just wants you to watch YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So I hadn't actually noticed that. But then you said that to me. Eddie Goki said that to me. And I guess it must be right. So why now? Like, why are so many people doing it now? Or is it just coincidence, do you think?
I think the people that this is happening with are the people that have been living in restriction.
Right.
So they haven't, I really don't like this term, but in my eyes, they haven't been doing it right.
Yes, no, I get that.
Yeah.
And it is a difficult way to describe it.
Yeah.
But for want of a better phrase, that's the phrase we'll use today.
Yeah. So if you live in constant restriction, you're constantly, well, for one, you're not going to get the body composition that you really desire.
Yeah. Or that is optimal for your genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to be downgrading your metabolic rate and things like that. If you're not giving your body enough nourishment, we're not going to say calories because we don't do that. But when you're looking in terms of nourishment, and your body does need a certain amount of nourishment, if you're constantly living underneath what you need, it's not going to all of a sudden make you look amazing. It's not going to give you the good skin, hair, hormones, and everything that you want. It's actually going to put you in a state of stress.
And hunger, constant hunger. Yeah.
Are we going to say that it will raise the cortisol if you're in that kind
of?
It
will, in a good way, because the cortisol is the way of trying to cope with all that.
Yeah, obviously we have that mechanism for a reason.
Exactly.
And our body wants to survive.
But to see the cortisol rise is a sign, at the very least. It doesn't mean you have to manipulate cortisol directly, but it's a sign that things aren't quite right.
It can be a flag. Other flags are losing cycles, hair, feeling cold all the time,
cramps, sleep.
There's so many things. And a lot of people in this community are ignoring those things. And they're constantly thinking, right, I'm going to carnivore harder. But in their eyes, that is actually restricting more, and that's the opposite of what they need to do.
I've had patients like that. Patients like that. I think that the patients of mine that have similar issues to what Paul was going through, from the sounds of it, and I'm not an expert on his content, but then also the people that we see now who are starting to add carbs back in. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the people who are doing it now and adding carbs back in, the reasons for that is not that dissimilar to when Paul added his carbs back in. And I see that in my patients who say, yes, I'm getting cramps, yes, my sleep is getting affected. I feel like I've not got enough energy. I feel like my brain isn't quite with it. And that's usually relatively, at least early on, when I take that patient from wherever they are closer and closer towards carnivore. And the reason is exactly what you just said. They're not eating enough. Because they're used to seeing on a plate a certain amount, as they have been raised by their family in society to believe that's what a plate should look like. And they have that plate, let's say 3 times a day. Whereas with carnivore, the idea is, and for those that don't know, you start eating when you're hungry. That's the reason we feel hunger. And you stop eating when you feel that it doesn't taste good anymore. The same thing that tasted really great, that ribeye, the first bit in your mouth, the juicy steak, that tasted brilliant. And then just the thought of putting another piece in your mouth makes you want to put it in the bin. That's when you stop eating. And my patients didn't realize a lot of the time that's how you should eat. That's how we have eaten all this time. And so they stop eating when they think they should, even when they're still hungry, or they don't realize they're still hungry. And as a result, the bolus of food that they eat is too small. So their ability to retain electrolytes is not there. And so things that require electrolytes and, everything in the body basically starts to get affected. So they feel like they're tired, they don't have enough energy, the sleep's not good, muscles are cramping up, etc., etc. I think that's the most common reason.
But it would make sense. It would make sense.
Especially during transition as well, because they don't know how they've never eaten this way before. Do you find that as well? When people transition, this is a common issue, so they're not eating.
I would say that it's the biggest problem in the carnivore community when people start and as they continue in their journey. The people that are having problems, it usually is something to do with undernourishing. And, our bodies need a certain amount of nourishment per day.
And that's why we feel hungry after a while and not we feel full after a while.
We have these signals. Our body is there, and obviously these signals are there for survival. And then all of a sudden we're ignoring them all. It's not going to get us the best.
No, obviously not.
No.
And I think the only temporary fix that I have for my patients is that we go to electrolyte solutions. And this isn't because, carnivore is making us miss things. If you eat carnivore the way we have during our evolution, you'll be fine. But we temporarily go to electrolyte solutions because the patients don't know when they should stop eating, because they don't have that feeling of being full coming at the right time, because their bodies are messed up with all these industrial processed foods that make us just constantly want to eat more. And the food is designed that way. Let's not beat around the bush.
It is.
And so we lose that ability to know when we're hungry and when we're full. And because of that, they don't eat until they're full, because they can't. I couldn't when I first transitioned. And so for those patients, the temporary fix, we do go to the electrolytes. We go to the Keto Pro electrolytes. We probably look at something like 2 scoops a day, either at the same time or separate. And then once they learn to eat until they're full, because they're getting their ability to feel hungry and feel full again, we ditch the electrolytes. Or if they like the taste and just like it anyway, they can feel free to have that as an alternative to water. Is there any other ways that you see getting around things like that as well?
I see common mistakes.
Yeah.
Common mistakes are people waking up in the morning and having a coffee.
Yeah.
Having a tea or coffee.
As soon as they get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're saying, but I'm not hungry in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, you may have been. And you're having, out of habit, you're having this coffee or tea.
Yeah.
And the caffeine actually suppresses your appetite.
Yeah.
So it's allowing you to ignore your natural hunger signals.
And even signals of tiredness as well.
Yeah.
Which is just as important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the more we get back to being and living naturally, I know we can't live naturally because we all live in these,
yeah, I mean, even just being in a room with a roof here, the studio, this is unnatural.
Yeah. All the white lights and everything.
Exactly.
It's completely unnatural.
Yeah.
But we can do the best that we can.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that would say, if they're having issues, they'll start looking at their shampoo, conditioner, their cleaning products, their everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. Tallow Glow, by the way.
That wasn't a plug at all. How did they tell them?
Shameless plug.
Let's get the plug out of the way. Come on. So was it tallow.glow?
So tallow.glow, yeah. If you, that's on obviously socials.
Yeah.
Tallowglow.shop.
Okay.
I
didn't know you could get .shop as a website now.
Yeah.
Okay. Tallowglow.shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go there and you can have the best moisturizer.
Yeah. She'll send you like a free picture of her feet as well, as I know some of you have requested as well. They come with the moisturizer.
Do you know how much some people offer me for pictures of my feet?
No, go on.
Oh, someone offered me £200.
£200
my feet.
Flipping. Why don't you just get one off Google Images and send that? Take the £200.
Couldn't I?
And they wouldn't know it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, £200. That's the going rate, and you'll get one for free if you buy one Tallow Glow moisturizer.
In all seriousness, so I make and sell my own creams.
Yeah.
Tallow Glow, if you haven't guessed, and they are non-toxic. They are not going to mess your hormones up.
Yeah. And you add emu oil now, is that right?
So I do have. It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
My Nourish Balm is half tallow, half emu oil.
Okay.
And I did find some even further results in improvement of skin.
Okay.
With using that.
Okay, nice. But that's all natural, which is kind of the opposite of what a lot of these patients that go into carnivore don't have, which is why they lose that. So apart from electrolytes, I mean, what can people do to learn how much to eat? Because it's really not that simple. To say eat until you're full, it sounds obvious. But actually, I think most people can't do it.
Yeah, I think a sign is cravings.
Yeah.
Because when you're fully fed, it's really hard to crave something.
Yeah, that's a really good way of doing it. So when I first transitioned and I was eating till the point where I thought I was full, if someone gave me my favorite dessert, I'd scoff it down.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not.
With ease.
Yeah. And I know therefore I wouldn't have been full. Whereas before you came today, I ate a load of stuff. And if someone gave me the sweetest ice cream in the world, fresh from Italy, in a nice gelato bowl, honestly, I actually wouldn't have it. Yeah. Like even now, I wouldn't have it because I'm so full from the meal that I had before. And I think that's a good way of judging when to stop eating.
It is. This is why I stress to people all the time.
Yeah.
You have to eat enough. That is the most important part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's lots more to it. Sleep, stress. Of course.
Sunshine, exercise, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But eating enough, so many people get it wrong.
Yeah.
And then they're living in a constant state of restriction. They're living in a constant state of, well, what that will do if you're living in a constant state of restriction is actually you'll start thinking about food all the time.
Yeah.
If you're fully fed, you will think about food when you need it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Same. That's me now. I'm not thinking about food at all. Yeah.
Why would you need to obsess about food?
And this is, when people try to lose weight in a sort of conventional quote unquote way, people say you need to move more and eat less, right? This stupid way of doing it. When you eat purposely too little and it's too little, and then you tax your body by doing more physically, running, lifting weights, whatever it is, there's a reason those people are constantly hungry. Because your body is crying out for help and it needs the resources. Carnivore is not restrictive in terms of how much food.
No.
And because it's got the word diet after it, some people think it is. Yeah. But it's not a diet in that sense. It's a guideline of eat until
lifestyle.
Exactly, it's a carnivore lifestyle. I think that's a good way of putting it.
A proper human diet.
Proper human diet, as Ken Berry says.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I like what he says when he says, you know, if you've got a question to ask, can I eat intuitively on a proper human diet? If you have the question and put that after it, it makes the question sound a bit silly.
Yeah, so the question might be, is it safe for children?
On a proper human diet.
Is the proper human diet safe for children?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But then we use the word carnivore and it sounds a little bit cultish.
Carnivore diet.
Carnivore diet, yeah. And I agree, it does sound a bit cultish in the same way that veganism does sound a bit cultish. But if you rephrase it mentally and you realize, well, it's not some new thing. Actually, we've been doing it for millions of years.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not new at all and it's perfectly natural. And it's the reason we're alive today. It's the reason our brains evolved.
Yeah.
Because we ate this way. So I think that brings me on to the next point to talk about, which is you mentioned previously, I've already forgot the name, but someone said on social media that you see or follow that the carnivore diet / ketogenic diets are not sustainable.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I know we're probably in agreement on those thoughts. Many people are, but what are your thoughts on that notion?
I think he's getting it completely wrong.
Yeah. So this name the person if you don't mind. So this is a guy called Zane. You said Zane something. Yeah,
Zane. We've mutually followed each other for quite a few years.
Yeah,
we've got mutual friends.
Yeah.
You know, I've always had mutual respect, and he's great.
Yeah.
So I just noticed recently he's doing a few videos.
Yeah.
And in these videos, he is saying that a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet will mess up the thyroid, it will raise cortisol, it will raise your A1C, you know, all these different things. And then what I did notice, so he's talking through saying that these things happen to himself in his videos. And what I noticed in the comment section is that he mentioned that he actually has never done the carnivore diet.
Okay.
And that he keeps
and these are his own words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's always kept in 100 to 150 grams of carbs per day.
Which is not that far from just a normal food pyramid.
Yeah.
Not carnivore at all. And to put that into context for those of you who maybe are not carnivore yet or are thinking about it, clinically, when I work with patients, I define for my patients low carb as up to 30 grams a day, which technically is actually a lot when you consider the fact that 5 grams is how much we need in our blood.
Yeah.
So this is 600% of that amount. So 30 grams a day is what I say is the cutoff typically to be classed as low carb. Just in my opinion, there's no official thing.
And do you class that as net carbs or total carbs?
Total. And if we can get under that, brilliant. That's a goal. But if we go above now and again, honestly, who cares? And just for context, I'm not 100% carnivore. Are you? Would you say you're 100% carnivore?
I'm very close to it.
Very close. Okay, I'm not as close as you then. So for those that don't know, I would say I'm roughly speaking about 90%. So I will go through roughly 1 pack of Coke cans per month. So maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I'll have dessert once a month, and I'll have whatever seasoning I want with the meat, sauces, things like that. Not a problem. So that 10% is my balance. So it's not me adding carbs back in and being a bit of a hypocrite here. That's me simply admitting I'm a sugar addict. And that is the balance I like to draw with my life. So I have no symptoms. I have no health problems. I perform great in sport. I'm very happy with everything. So I can have that with no negative consequences to my lifestyle or my health and still enjoy that little bit of being a self-confessed sugar addict as well. And if you do eat until you're full, I don't need any more than that. And that's it. Which I think is, like we said, is the biggest issue. But this idea of it not being sustainable longer term, I'm almost sort of 2 years on the carnivore diet. And I've always, at the beginning, I was probably 70%, and I've gotten more and more closer, and I'm probably sticking with about 90% now. I've had no issues because I'm eating till I'm full. And also people that say it's not sustainable long term, I mean, we've been in the ketogenic diet for more time than we haven't in our entire history as a species. So I don't think it's the fact that the ketogenic diet is a problem or being in ketosis is a problem. I think it's in our modern world, people aren't, again, this is a bad phrase, but they're not going into the diet the right way or the proper way. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so I think these people that say that, like this guy that you said, they're not even doing carnivore properly because he's still having 100 to 150 grams a day of carbs.
I think obviously with social media, we all can say exactly what we want to, and we can all go down whichever diet path we want to do, and that is fine. But I think if you're going to speak on something, then you should be fully transparent about that. You should mention, actually, I've never done that diet that I'm saying caused my issues.
Well, I don't get that though. Why would he say this diet caused me these issues, but then admit he was never on the diet? That makes no sense.
I don't know.
Very strange. I mean, I've had patients with thyroid issues, as many people in our space have, where the carnivore diet has helped those issues and they're better off as a result instead of the other way around. So I don't understand where that guy is coming from. And I don't understand anyone who says long-term ketosis is a problem. I mean, you're not actually in long-term ketosis, in my view, if you're doing carnivore correctly.
No, you cycle in and out every day.
Exactly. If you eat enough, if you eat until you're full, you come out of ketosis and then you'll probably get hungry the next day. And the closer to your next meal, the closer you drift back towards ketosis, and then you come out again when you have your next meal. And I think that's in line, roughly, with what we would have had throughout our entire evolution as well. Any other thoughts that you had, or any other people specifically that you wanted to talk about as to why they added carbs back in?
So I just think that there's a lot of, like we said about the name, the carnivore diet, there's a lot of people that come to this diet with a diet mentality. So they constantly live in restriction. They're constantly finding ways to try and tweak their diet. All these different sardine fasts, fat fasts, you know, all these different fasts.
I never even heard of the sardine fast until last week. I don't know it was a thing.
A lot of people were doing that. And actually, all the people that did that, every single one of those people that were doing that are now reintroducing and playing around. And
with meats and things.
Reintroducing carbs.
Oh, carbs, okay.
Yeah, reintroducing carbs and having problems. And actually, there are some people that got to pretty much their goal weight. And then they started playing around with these things. And now they've gained 20 pounds. You know, as I said, if you're living in restriction, you're constantly thinking about food. You're constantly looking around, thinking about when your next meal is, what you're going to eat. You are way more likely to eat something that you shouldn't be eating.
Because you've got
in
craving.
That kind of state. And not only that, your body downregulates your metabolism and things like that. So it's never a good thing to be undernourished. I think being fully nourished is actually really where it's at. For many reasons, for your hormone health, for your
everything,
from head to toe.
And that's the reason we have the feeling of being full. Because as your body's saying right now, we've got what we need to actually function properly. And to give you an example, if you go to the gym more often, it's going to take longer to feel full. Because your body recognizes you've got a greater need for amino acids, so it's going to make you feel later after you've had more protein. And we said in the first attempt at this recording, before the computer switched off, I think a big factor, potentially at least, in the people that are adding carbs back in is mental strength or fortitude or willpower, whatever the word may be. Because some of my patients who, you know, we've taken them from whatever problems they have to 100% carnivore, or 99%, whatever you want to look at it as. We then introduce maybe one thing like a milkshake or a cheesecake or a fizzy drink, and think, oh, I'll just have one more. And this snowball effect starts and they go all the way back. Whereas with myself, just purely as an example, just because I don't want to pick on anyone else, if you give me a can of Coke, I'm not going to sit there and then have the rest of the six pack. I just think, fine, I had one, great, and I'll move on. And I don't know why I'm like that and why other people are the opposite, or why some person is more like me or more like the opposite. I don't know. But do you not think that is a big play? Because we all crave carbs at the end of the day. It's natural.
But also, you were saying before about your mental strength.
Yeah.
And root cause. What is the root cause to your mental strength? Have you ever lived where you're restricting? That's where I was going.
Yes, good point. I mean,
so in your life, there are some people that come to this diet that have spent their life on low fat. They've spent their life constantly restricting, constantly looking at things they want to have and they're not having it. And then they binge on that thing.
Yeah. Because it's always on their mind.
Yeah.
When you take something away.
Cause.
Yeah.
Is that what comes first kind of thing?
It's a brilliant question. I think it's a very psychological question, and it's very different. And I think the answer actually is going to be different for each individual person. And we're getting a little bit philosophical, but I think it's what every person going into carnivore is going to face, and it could be the root cause of them ultimately not doing well on it and adding carbs back in. But I think one of the root causes of that is the fact that if I go off diet. Like if I have that one ice cream I have a month, I'll have it with like some brownies or something like that. I don't feel bad. I don't beat myself up. And if I did, and I was beating myself up about it, then it's still on my mind. So it's always there. But because I don't care that I've had it, because I'm so confident about everything else in my life in terms of the diet and how much I stick to it, as soon as I have that ice cream, I almost forget that I've had it. And I'm usually with some people at dinner or something when I have it at a restaurant somewhere. And I just carry on talking with whatever we're talking about, and it goes out of my mind. And so there's nothing to tempt me, because there's nothing in my head for a temptation to come.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what you said. If you are constantly restricting, then it's constantly on your mind.
Constant.
And so is it a case of the way you view something? How good or bad you feel? Because I don't feel bad, so I don't care about it.
It definitely is. Mental strength is one of the biggest factors, isn't it, really?
You've got to want it enough to do things.
But can you gain mental strength is the question. And I think you can.
I don't know.
But if you're living in restriction, are you going to reach that? No,
well, living in restriction is potentially a source of weakness for people. Because your mental capacity is being used up, reminding yourself you can't have that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have a can of Coke, I literally don't care about it.
Yeah.
Like if I have a can of Coke while I'm working on my laptop or something, my mind's still on whatever work I'm doing. This is just a side thing and I don't really care, which is why I so easily go back to this again. It's almost like a meditative state. People say that in meditation, it's not about trying to think of something. It's about letting the thoughts come into your head, whatever you're trying to think about, and then letting them pass out again.
Yeah.
Instead of coming in and latching onto you and irritating you.
And making it bigger.
Yeah. And that's food as well, I think.
It's funny because when I'm coaching my clients, one of the things that I tell them is some clients might want to meet weekly.
Yeah.
And I do this via Zoom.
Yeah.
And when we're speaking, if they then speak about, they've had a cheat.
Yeah.
And they're really dwelling on it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, that happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can actually be a good thing that happened, because you can work out how it's making you feel.
Yeah.
Say like they've gone a month.
Yeah.
Just fully carnivore.
Yeah.
And then they've had a cheat.
Yeah.
And it's given them all these bad reactions. Sometimes that can solidify to them that they're doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And they can move on from that. But what I find is if they really feel guilty, they really feel bad, and they're beating themselves up, it never ends well.
No.
And they will have more cheats.
Yeah.
So I normally say, okay, learn from that.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like the biggest problem.
Exactly.
And actually you can, teach yourself how your body's working and things like that. So it's not always a bad thing. It's obviously, I'm not suggesting go out and cheat and that kind of stuff. But if that does happen,
at least use it as a learning experience.
Yeah.
And I think that actually is one of in terms of the way we feel when we've gone off diet. Again, this sounds really philosophical, but I think that is one of the best things you can think about in order to stay on something. Because if you really ask, how do I feel now that I've had, I don't know, an apple or something like that, or an apple pie, and you feel really bad, then that's something to work on and realize you don't need to feel bad.
Yeah.
You just accept it and move on.
It can give you that negative association with something that you look at
anything,
as positive.
Exactly.
A treat.
Exactly.
Actually, not a treat.
Yeah.
Just your knees to start aching, or you to get brain fog, or a headache, or anything. That's not positive.
Exactly. And I think Anthony Chaffee, he says, if you go off diet, no one's going to tell you off.
Yeah.
You just carry on back on diet the next day.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I think the real good thing about that, because the way he says it like as if, you know, it's okay, and it is okay. I agree with him. But I think the real beauty that he hasn't noticed about what he says is that forms a healthy relationship with food. And if you think about it, when people don't have a healthy relationship, that's always things like bulimia, anorexia, etc., and people just do not look right and have mental problems. So I think a good relationship with food possibly is the most fundamental underpinning.
It's funny because this is the thing that I work on with my clients, is actually healing the relationship with food.
Yeah.
And
which is not easy.
No, so people are very tied up in it. Again, it's restriction, under eating, constantly wanting things they can't, they tell themselves they can't have, you know, and that makes them want it even more. There's a lot to it.
Yeah. Most people don't even know they've got a problem with the way they see food, because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And that's all they think. So I think if we change that, and then we realize that if we go off diet, no one's going to tell you off, you just carry on, then it's not constantly going to be on our mind. And if it's not constantly on our mind, we're not going to find some excuse to add the carbs back in.
Yeah.
We're not going to look for some carnivore recipes which include honey and bread and stuff that just isn't carnivore at all.
Yeah.
And then say that's how we do it, and then eventually end up the same as, say, Paul Saladino, just adding hundreds of grams of carbs back in.
I mean, so for myself, even me, after being on this diet for 6.5 years, over 6.5 years, if I'm under eating for any reason, if I'm busy or it's not normally intentional, but if there is a reason, then non-carnivore foods start to look appealing.
Yeah, same.
Whereas if I'm fully fed, they look like they're just not food at all.
Yeah.
They don't look appealing.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying here is kind of trust the process. Don't overthink, oh, I've eaten so much, and and start worrying about it.
Yeah.
Trust your body. Your body's hunger cues and signals are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Yeah. If you've eaten too much, the sign is you've vomited.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, listen to them to the degree of, you know, in this kind of space.
Yeah.
When you're eating the proper human diet, you can listen to your hunger signals and things.
Definitely.
You don't want to listen to chemically induced from junk food.
That, you know, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that vegetable oils will destroy the full functioning of your taste buds. So actually you lose that ability to know when to stop eating, even downstream of that as well. I don't know how true that is. Someone comment if it is true. But if that's true, that's one example of why we do not eat in the most natural way in modern times, because the food is designed to keep us eating.
Yeah.
And that's how it's you know, making profit for all these companies.
Yeah.
So I think, let's summarize then. So I think one of the main reasons people are adding the carbs back in is because, really bad phrase, but they're not doing carnivore in the way that is optimal, shall we say, or appropriate. Typically that means they're not eating enough, especially in one sitting. And people that are doing it as an excuse to satisfy their cravings, we would say that that's inherently, at least partly, to do with their relationship with food. And if you are restricting, you're always thinking about it. And if you're always thinking about it, you're going to find some way to get it back in, whatever excuse you can find. But if you're not bothered about it, and it's something that you're okay with going off and coming back onto the diet now and again, like Chafee says, it's a perfectly reasonable relationship to have, and it's not going to bother you. And like me, you can have a can of Coke now and again and not fall down a slippery slope and be perfectly fine.
There's some people out there that say that they fall into certain categories. Some people can, like you do have one and stop.
Yeah.
And some people can't. Yeah. And obviously what you're saying is there more to it? Is it because of this?
And that's a really deep psychological question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be.
Yeah.
But for these people living in restriction, I keep saying it.
Yeah.
But it's not helping. It's just really not helping. It's not going to sort your, you know, it's not going to level your hormones out. It's not going to, you're going to end up with hair loss. You're going to end up with no cycle.
Yeah.
Feeling
you're going to feel tired during the day all the time. Yeah.
And actually, when you're on the carnivore diet, your hunger cues change, your hunger signals. tiredness is a sign that you need to eat. So some people miss that. They just think they're tired.
Yeah.
And they skip a meal quite easily because they don't realize they're hungry.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good way of ensuring that you go into carnivore the right way.
Yeah.
Trust the process. Just keep on it. And if you feel any of these symptoms, a bit more salt on the food, maybe some electrolyte solutions, or maybe lengthen the transition out if you do want to still have some of your old diet and then transition slowly. That's perfectly reasonable. I've done that before for my patients. But you don't need to worry, because I think even just wanting carbs alone, frankly, that's a good sign, because it means you're listening to your body, because we all crave carbs. But if we eat till you're full, the cravings don't win. And that's all it is.
Yeah, I do think that that's the key.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the missing part to a lot of people that are doing this. But also, I don't think we touched on the dairy heavy recipes that everyone
that's
are
a
doing.
good point. Yeah.
So what I'm noticing, I like to notice patterns, and the patterns of the people that are trying to actually reintroduce carbs. And actually a lot of these people have already decided it's a bad move, and they're going back to strict carnivore.
Yeah.
But the pattern that I'm noticing is that they're restricting, they're doing a lot of fasting, and they are doing a lot of dairy recipes. Yeah.
I mean, I being fully transparent in the interest of what we've told other people to do, I do have dairy. I do have raw milk now and again. Not because I'm trying to manipulate my weight or anything like that. I just like it. That's literally all it is. So if I have a protein powder, typically I have it when I'm traveling. I don't know if I can trust the food.
Yeah.
I'll have it with milk just because it tastes nicer. And I don't really care whether I gain weight or lose weight. I'm going to live my life the same way anyway. But I don't go overboard. I probably have a couple of glasses of milk a week. I don't think that's going to make a massive difference in the long term. And I'm okay with that. But from what you're saying, a lot of these people are maybe a lot of cheese, would you say?
Cheese recipes, like they're making carnivore breads, they're making
does it make sense, carnivore bread? How can bread be carnivore?
Yeah, they come up with these really amazing ideas of how to eat the foods that they used to eat.
Right.
And obviously these foods have caused some issues, and then kind of wanting to replace that food.
Yeah.
But I mean, interestingly enough, I use dairy as a tool.
Okay. In what way?
There's been points in my carnivore journey where I felt like I got too slim.
Okay.
And because I like to be a bit more curvaceous.
Okay.
So I will use dairy to gain weight.
Okay.
And that is the tool that I use.
Well, bodybuilders used to use milk back in Arnold Schwarzenegger's day. There was videos of them in the gym just chugging cans of milk.
Calves, babies, they're all starting on that milk. That's going to help them grow.
Yeah.
I tend to just stick to cream cheese.
Okay.
It's definitely.
I don't think I've ever had cream cheese in my life.
Yeah, it's addictive.
Okay.
It is addictive. So I have to use it when I need it, and then I have to stop. And sometimes I don't. And then I might end up with maybe a bit of dry skin. Maybe so for instance, if I was to have yogurt 2 days running, I will guarantee you I will get flaky skin in my eyebrows.
Really?
Guarantee.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is an issue with dairy. You can use it as a tool if needed. But if you're constantly, what I found with, maybe is it more of a woman thing? I don't know. Maybe there's more aspects to it. But what I'm seeing with a lot of women in the space that are actually doing a lot of these dairy recipes, they then say that they're constantly fasting and stuff like that to try and lose this weight they've gained from the dairy.
Yeah. Which just makes no sense. Why does not have the dairy in the first place?
Just don't have the dairy.
Exactly, yeah.
But as we said, it's addictive.
And I think that when you go off diet, because dairy technically is an animal product, of course.
Yeah.
But let's be frank, there is no mammal on Earth that drinks milk into adulthood.
No.
And there's also no mammal that drinks the milk of a foreign species. So from that perspective...
No, there is.
Oh, really?
There is. If you actually go on YouTube, you can see it for yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this an innuendo of a porn film or something?
No.
The kind of conversations that we have.
Oh, wait, which animal did I see? There's like, I've seen cats.
Yeah.
Go over to a different animal, like cows and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, if you type it in, it does happen.
Right.
Because this is something actually... Because I get into...
But is this just because in the modern world, these animals are mixing when normally they wouldn't?
I think in survival, if you can gain nutrition in any way that you can, you're going to do it.
Yeah. But that's in a survival situation.
Yeah.
In normal.
So, I mean, there's even videos of herbivores eating meat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You know.
I mean, that's what we did, to be fair.
Yeah.
We were, our teeth are from the herbivore days.
Yeah.
But then we, and then we ate meat and our brains grew, and, you know, we didn't need the teeth anymore because we had intelligence and social intelligence and limbs and everything to throw spears.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I mention this, because if we start to have copious amounts of milk and dairy, which I don't think is what our ancestors would have done, frankly.
No.
Then we are not going to experience, this is just an opinion now, but I don't think we're going to experience optimal health, because our bodies aren't evolved to have that.
No. So the dairy, so when I learned, because when I was doing my coaching course with Dr. Baker, one thing that was mentioned in there is that dairy should be like a condiment.
Okay.
Yeah. It shouldn't be like a big part of your diet.
It shouldn't be the main thing.
But dairy, like I said, dairy is a tool.
Yeah.
Dairy recipes and stuff like that, they can be helpful for people when they're starting.
Okay.
When they're transitioning, to get used to just having meat on their plate and just animal products.
Yeah.
That is what I tend to use it for.
Okay.
And then as you go, you don't need those. And you want those less and less.
Yeah.
But it's just actually to get you onto the diet and to replace the foods.
Just another way of using it as a tool, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you misuse these tools, that's when you go down the road of, as we're seeing now, just adding a whole load of carbs back in because you just got a sweet tooth again. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing a lot of actually is there's people that have done that. They've gone down that path. Yeah. And then they're constantly, it's like they're pedaling in water. They're not really getting far.
Yeah.
And they're constantly trying to get back to how they were.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah.
And it's a constant, but instead of getting back to how they were before, they try new things.
Yeah.
Like all these different carnivore fasts and different things like that. Instead of...
Which is just a fad.
Oh, when I was the best that I felt...
Yeah, you personally.
I was eating those things.
Right, okay, an example.
As an example.
Yeah.
Instead of jumping back to those things, they try all these different things out of panic. Sheer panic. It's that horrible cycle. And, years ago, I was caught in that cycle.
Yeah.
Of where you're constantly, you'll have a binge. You're restrict.
I think that's a form of lack of mental health, at least in some way, and in some part. And I think people don't realize that it is. Maybe I'm just being really harsh. I don't know, and I apologize to people if I am, but it just looks that way. Like when I work in cosmetic space, there are patients who can't stop having treatments. Like they get the face they want.
That's definitely mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you see and they've
and they look great,
like
and then
monsters.
and they cannot stop, and they want more and more and more and more filler and Botox, and it just looks ridiculous. And people that that mentality of constantly having to do something, for me, that's a red flag in the patient. And when we see people in this space, I've got to try this fast, I've got to try that fast, now I've got to try this recipe. Just calm down, just eat meat and relax. And for me, there's a mental, psychological aspect to all these people adding carbs back in. I don't know what that aspect is, but I think it's a part to play in all of it, as well as, the under eating, like we've spoken about, all these other things.
The root cause, like you say, get to the root cause of everything. And,
and the relationship with food.
Yeah.
Perfect. So any particular shout outs? I know we, in the first take of this, we mentioned a few people. Do you want to say a few of those names for people to go to if they want help transitioning?
Okay, yeah. So I think good people in the space that have got a very good message, obviously us.
Both of us, of course, of course.
But then people like Anthony Chafee.
Yep.
Obviously his fiance Elle is another good one.
Oh, she got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
I literally don't watch YouTube, but I've got no idea.
Some people just want to look at a pretty face, and that's enough inspiration for them to stick to it.
Okay.
They want the same results.
Yeah.
Bart Kay,
of course. A lot of love for him. Richard Smith in the UK. Stephen Thomas in the UK.
Stephen Thomas.
Kent Carnivore, Lee Copus in the UK.
Yeah. Who haven't we mentioned? Because we mentioned more earlier, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So Anthony Chafee.
Ken Berry.
Dr. Baker, of course.
Sean Baker, Ken Berry.
The original OG.
Yep. I'd love to meet Sean Baker one day.
Oh, he's great. I did meet him. It was really funny. I liked, you know me.
Yeah. I know you're a weirdo. That's what I know. Yeah.
I like to laugh.
Yeah.
I like to laugh a lot.
All we do off camera is take the piss out of each other.
Laugh, yeah.
All of our messages are just me making jokes, her and her making jokes to me, and that's it.
I mean, when I was saying about, because I actually ate some dairy the last few days, and I was like, my skin's not great.
Get out.
And you said, well, you look.
What did I say? I don't even remember.
You look like anyway.
Oh, I've just told her you look like shit anyway. So it's just a way that we would speak to each other.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But yeah, so when I met Sean, how many times I've met him a couple of times, and he was in the seat next to me. Okay. And he fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's a funny story actually. And
is it because you were that boring to sit next to that you made him fall asleep?
We were actually at a carnivore conference.
Okay, right.
And he had been traveling. They lost his bags.
Unlucky.
So he had to wear the same outfit every day for about 4 days running, I think. I really felt for him. And he just powered through. He's amazing. Sean really is amazing. What you see online is what you get. Okay. It really is. But he had fallen asleep. So I kind of filmed him. Yeah. Zoomed in.
That's exactly what I would do.
But then I posted it and I tagged it.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, this was at the same time that Paul Saladino had someone message me to ask if I would be open to dating him.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, I see.
And so when I didn't share it with anyone, but I did share it with Sean. We went out for a meal later on. Yeah. And I said to him, look at this. I said, I think it's because I filmed you sleeping. And he's thinking, yeah, okay. Getting one up on Dr. Baker. But it was quite funny because, funny situation.
Story for another day.
Yeah.
But what she said about Sean Baker, she's far worse off camera. If I'm being honest. But yeah, all those names are great people to look at.
There's a few people in the space that actually are really serious on camera, but
and they're the opposite.
Hilarious.
Off camera.
Hilarious. I'm not going to name names, but some people that I know, I've got to know since going to all the conferences and stuff, and they're actually just so funny, and I didn't expect it, which made it even more.
No.
I mean, I didn't. When we went to that studio that time.
Oh, when I was lying on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting interview.
I haven't even seen that out anywhere. But anyway,
I haven't.
I said to Abs, I'm just going to walk out and walk back in again. You know that whole first time walking in, you pretense.
Yeah, well, you open the door with the camera
and
do a panorama.
And then Abs is laying on the floor. And I was dying. I was literally dying. It was so funny.
Yeah, we're very not serious off camera. We just take the piss the entire time.
I feel like laughing is a big part of good health.
Do you know what? You're not wrong, because when you're on carnivore, if you're constantly thinking about food and what do I not eat, it's too serious.
Stress.
And that's one of the reasons why I can have a can of Coke and I don't care.
Yeah, I don't want that life. I don't want the life of constant stress, constant thinking about what I've got to do next.
Exactly.
I'm hungry. Oh, let's eat.
Yeah. And if I fancy a bit of ice cream that day and I have some, I literally couldn't care less. I'll just carry on working and forget that I had ice cream.
Yeah.
And carry on. But yeah, thank you very much for coming, Rach.
Thank you for having me.
It's been very good. Hopefully this time it's recorded and we may do this again.
Do you know what's really annoying is the first one we did was really funny. There's loads of funny bits.
She definitely talked about farting into a jar in that one as well. So, but yeah, we'll end it there.
No, you've got to have context with that one.
No context. If you enjoyed it, if you've got any other questions or any topics you want us to talk about, drop them in the comments below and we will try and get to them. Thank you.